It's been a while since I've been into Never Shout Never, mainly because it reminds me of whenever he looked like this and I looked like this in my MySpace-loving days, and of course whenever Christopher Drew says things like,
"Give it up for pizza. Anybody like pizza? Yeah?"
It makes me a little less than interested in checking out future material. What's up guys, John from ARTV. It's time to talk about the latest from Never Shout Never, their 7th studio album, which is crazy, makes me feel old as hell just because I remember the first time that Christopher Drew was releasing anything pretty much as a solo act at that point, but the 7th album is called Black Cat. I won't deny the fact that I have pretty much ignored this band's existence for the last 3 to 5 years or so, minus a few singles here and there. Wasn't particularly interested whenever I heard songs like Time Travel, although the track Magic off of that album, Indigo, did catch my ear, and it's something that's kind of been in rotation in some of my playlists for the past, I don't know, year or two. I went into Black Cat with literally no expectations. I haven't listened to Never Shout Never, and especially not an album, in quite some time, like I mentioned, and I came out surprised just because I got a solid and well-played pop record that features a lot of instrumentation that you're not going to hear on your standard pop album. Really poppy and snappy tunes here on this new Never Shout Never record that actually have something to sink their teeth into. Some of them are ridiculously stupid, a lot of stupid fun, I guess, to be had on this album with tracks like Woohoo, talking about falling in love and just the moment of and just how excited you feel, and then of course the lead-off single, Hey, We Okay, which really tries hard to be like an anthem-styled song, and it actually kind of works, and I kind of hate myself for liking it. Not really, but you kind of know what I'm driving at there. I usually hate it whenever songs are talking about hey, we're unique, we're gonna do our own thing and that sort of thing, but this song is so catchy and just has such a nice change of pace in terms of Drew's vocal approach on this track that I can't really deny it. You can even throw Fone into that category too. It has some bright synthesizers that are actually quite nice on this track and liven things up, and it has a weird guitar solo that pops out of nowhere, so I would have to throw Fone as a favorite of mine too. The album's a bit uneven though, because it kind of goes all over the place with what it wants to talk about and maybe the point that it wants to drive home. Some of these tracks are surprisingly political, including the title track Black Cat, and I like it because it sees Christopher Drew writing from a character's point of view, it seems like, and I don't think I've ever seen him do that before. I guess it's not that surprising that it's a little bit political and more introspective, because we get tracks like Peace Song, which seems like Drew sitting around a campfire. He's an avid enthusiast of the 420 holiday, if you catch my breeze. It just seems like he's sitting around writing this track that just has been done so many times. Take 2 steps back, smoke a joint, let's just all be at peace with each other and not have any more war. Hell, you could throw All Is Love into that category too, and I wouldn't care, because it's another throwaway track on this album that just kind of closes things out on a stale and recycled note. I have to admit that there does seem to be more thought behind that one, but at the same time, not even the band's well-played instrumental on this one can save it. Getting back to the title track Black Cat, I love the instrumental on this track. The guitars, the pianos that roll in there just seem like something maybe out of an old film or something like that. It just seems like they drew inspiration from a lot of different places, and this track runs a little bit longer than some of the other tracks on this record, maybe feels a little bit out of place in that sense, but it is easily one of the best songs on Black Cat. Red Balloon is just fantastic. Kind of blew me away in a sense, because I never would have expected to like a Never Shout Never song this much. Probably my favorite from them to date. Drew's voice is a little bit more restrained during the verses of this track to match the light acoustic guitar that he's got going on before the wonderful pre-chorus and chorus roll in. If you're not having a good time whenever you're listening to this breezy and wonderfully well-rounded track, then you're doing something wrong. Even the lyrics here are more thought-provoking, and it's a shame that this song probably will not get the attention that it deserves. Another favorite of mine is Happy New Year, but it does irk me to an extent because it reminds me a lot of that debut album from Broken Bells. I'm not sure of exactly which song, but getting that comparison out of the way, this track is a lot of fun. Once again, a nice instrumental on here. I think that Drew knew whenever to be a little bit more assertive with his voice and to be more restrained, so it strikes a nice balance. Even though this track does feel a little bit uneven to me, it has turned into one of my overall favorites. Speaking of uneven, I have to talk about the track Boom, just because it's so out of left field, sudden left turn just right off of a cliff or something like that, because I never would have expected to see Christopher Drew scatting on a track, and I definitely would not have seen myself enjoying it. Awkward Conversations takes a page straight out of the late 90s alt-rock playbook, working with this warm guitar and bass line and a strong sing-along chorus that really just powers this tune to success. This isn't exactly the most cohesive record that you're going to hear all year long, but I suppose I have to give the band credit for kind of sticking to this pop rock formula all throughout. I think that we saw some of the highs and lows of Drew's songwriting here on this record, with the highs being tracks like the title track and then of course Red Balloon, and then we saw some of those weaker moments that are just going to make you roll your eyes, and I already highlighted those tracks. Let's not get back into that again. For me personally, Black Cat is a 3.5. Well, I didn't think I'd be giving the new Never Shout Never album this positive of a score, but keep in mind this is just my opinion. Let me know about yours tastefully and respectfully in the comment section down below. Smash that like button while you're at it. Maybe subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If there's other albums you want to see me talk about, definitely let me know with a comment. Check out my last review or my vlog channel right down below. Those floating links there, and of course everything else that you could possibly find me on is in the links in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.